In this video, I'm going to be ranking and breaking down the 5 top funnels in the coaching industry as of right now. So the free funnel, so anything that's free related, free PDFs, free Discord, free school community, those types of things. Low ticket to high ticket, challenge funnel, webinar funnel, book and call funnel. I'm going to be ranking them and what I think is the best funnel as of right now. But I'm also going to be breaking down what I think is the best funnel for each niche. So there's a lot of different niches, and at the end of the day, not every funnel is going to work for different types of niches. Not every funnel is going to work for different types of audiences. So I'm going to be breaking down what I think is the best funnel overall, and then what I think is the best funnel for different types of niches and different types of audiences. So let's get straight into it. Now, let's get into the free funnel. What do I mean by free funnel? A free funnel is pretty much anything considered where you're giving something away for free on the front end. So a free Discord, a free school community, a free PDF, a free email list, whatever it may be. If it's something free and you're selling something on the back end of that, that is what you would consider a free funnel. So free Discords, free school communities, free, courses, whatever it may be. If it's something free and you're selling on the back end of that, that's a free funnel. So simply put, I don't personally like a free funnel. I think you're bringing in a very, very low intent buyer. You're bringing in someone who wants something free. So at the end of the day, you can't be upset when you've got bad conversion ratios, because the people who want something free are people who are not going to want to spend $5,000 on something. So at the end of the day, I don't personally like them. I think, as I said, they're bringing in a very, very low intent customer. And in turn, you're going to get a very unqualified pipeline based on that. So for that reason, I'm going to be putting them at C tier. It's not terrible. It works for some types of people, but it's definitely not the best. Okay. Now, in terms of a low to high ticket funnel, what do I mean by that? Low to high ticket is pretty much where you're selling something low ticket, anything under $100 you can consider. And you're selling that to your audience on the front end. And then after that, you're going to be selling to them something higher ticket on the back end. For example, it's very similar to the free funnel. Free funnel, you're giving something away, low to high ticket, you're making them pay for that low ticket thing. And then after that, you're trying to sell them on something higher ticket. Someone who does this very, very well is TJR. If you guys want to go check that out. Okay, but some people, low to high ticket is just selling something low ticket on the front end and then something higher ticket on the back end. Okay, overall, I think it's a very good funnel to run for specific types of people. Okay, it doesn't work for many people and many types of audiences, but it works very well for specific types of people. Okay, and the reason I say that is because with the low to high ticket funnel, there's a lot of friction involved. And when you've got 5,000 followers, you don't want a lot of friction in your funnel. Okay, you could rather run something like a book and call funnel. Overall, I think low to high ticket, it's good for some people, but it's not great for other people. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in B tier overall. Now, in terms of a challenge funnel, what do I mean by challenge funnel? A challenge funnel, simply put, is just a funnel where you're getting people to do a challenge, or you're doing a challenge, and that on the back end of that, you're selling a product. Okay, so it's kind of like a webinar where you're presenting live to people. Okay, so generally challenge funnels are live, and then you're pitching something at the end of each day, or you're pitching something on the third day or the fifth day, however long the challenge is. Overall, challenge funnel, simply put, is just doing a challenge and selling something on the back end of that. Someone who's doing this right now is Brett Scales or Iman Gadzi. Iman Gadzi ran one where he did a challenge where he had a leaderboard. Whoever made the most amount of money in his community, I think it was called Monetize or something like that, would be getting a gift. So one guy got a McLaren for first place. Other people got like, Rolexes and all these different types of things. So that's a challenge funnel where you're hosting a challenge with your community. Another challenge funnel could be where you're actually doing a challenge. For example, Brett Scales was doing one, and he's trying to actually teach you guys, or he's actually, for example, Brett Scales is also doing one where he is going to be trying to sign his first client in 3 or 5 days. I can't remember exactly how long it is, but that is a challenge funnel. He's running a challenge himself, and on the back end of that, once he proves you he can actually do it very quickly, after that, he's actually going to sell you something. So that's a challenge funnel, simply put. Overall, I think challenge funnels, as I said, for the low to high tickets, very similar. It works for certain types of people. I don't think if you're anyone doing under $1 million a month, you should not even attempt a challenge funnel. There's a lot of production cost that goes into these things. Okay, so you have to effectively, have the money to actually spend on production. That's the first thing. Second thing is you have to understand how to actually create these presentations, because you're not just creating a presentation for one day like a webinar. You're creating like 3 to 5 days of presentations. Okay, that has to flow correctly. That is a few thousand slides if you're doing this correctly. Okay, that's the second thing. There's a lot of room for error on a challenge funnel. So for example, if you can get people to show up on the first day and then on the second day, people don't show up, obviously you're not going to make as much money as you could. So the biggest thing with the challenge funnel is it takes a lot of production cost. It takes a lot of, effort to actually get it to where it needs to be and to make it profitable. So in my personal opinion, I think leave this to the industry leaders like the Brett Scaleses, like the Iman Gadzis, like the Grant Cardones, like the Tony Robbins, like these types of people who are at the top of their industry making millions of dollars a month. Leave it to them, because they have people who have run these things a million times before helping them run these things. There's not a lot of information online about challenge funnels and how to run a challenge funnel. Overall, I don't personally like them. And as I said, there's just a lot of production cost. There's a lot of room for error. And overall, I think it's just not the best thing. I think it takes a lot of effort to actually do well with. That being said, I'm going to put it in B tier. Okay, as I said, it works for certain types of people, industry leaders, but for the general sense, if you're doing under $1 million a month, it's not even worth doing. Okay, now in terms of a webinar funnel, webinar funnels are great. Webinars are absolutely crushing right now. I think webinars are one of the best ways to honestly convert an audience. Simply put, a webinar is just where you're hosting a live event, so a live class, live masterclass for one day. Challenge funnels are multiple days. Webinars are just one day. So it's like a 2 or 3 hour presentation. On the back end of that, you're obviously teaching people something in the actual webinar. And then after that, you're obviously just trying to sell them something. So simply put, a webinar is just a live class. At the end of it, you're going to sell something. So I think webinars are absolutely amazing. Okay. If you're someone who needs to force a lot of consumption, for most people who are selling info products, you need to educate your audience quite a lot before they buy from you. So webinars are a great way to actually do that because you're forcing people to consume your content for 2 or 3 hours. And then once they've consumed all these, these resources and you've taught them a bunch of stuff, at the end of that, you're going to sell them. So they're way more likely to actually buy from you because they've just spent 2 or 3 hours with you. So I think webinars are overall a great way to actually convert your audience. The only thing I will say about webinars is the fact that it does take a lot of effort to actually do correctly because at the end of the day, it's not like you can fix problems as they come up. It's this one event and you can only kind of fix your problems after this event. Meaning, if you run a webinar and you have a bad show rate on your webinar, you can only fix that the next time you run a webinar, which might be in a week's time, 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time, however long it takes you to run your next webinar. So that's the only thing I don't like about webinars. And you have to be a very certain type of person to do well with a webinar. Don't be someone who's scared to present to people. Don't be someone who, can't overall present to people because at the end of the day, it's a live presentation. Okay, don't do a pre-recorded webinar. They just don't work anymore. But in terms of live webinars, I generally think you have to be a certain type of person to actually do well with it. That being said, you obviously can learn to do it correctly. I mean, a lot of people run webinars and a lot of people don't succeed the first 5 or 10 times they run it, and then eventually they crack the code. But overall, I think webinars are very, very good. You're forcing consumption. At the end of it, if you do it correctly and if you actually present correctly, you have a good show rate, all these different types of things, you will make a lot of money and it's very, very scalable. Okay, that's the biggest thing with webinars. So overall, I think webinar is going to go into A tier. Okay, they're good for lots of different types of people. Anyone can honestly run a webinar. If you're making $1 million a month, you can run a webinar. If you're making $10,000 a month, you can run a webinar. So they're very versatile and they work for a lot of different types of niches as well. Now, in my personal opinion, a book a call funnel is the best funnel. Simply put, a book a call funnel is where you're trying to sell someone something using a sales call. Simply put, that's how it is. But book a call funnels are, where someone books in a call with either you or your team, and on that call, you're actually trying to sell them on something. Okay, book a call funnel is the most versatile funnel out there. If you have 2,000 followers on Instagram and you're a fitness coach, you can run this. If you've got 1 million followers and you teach people how to jump higher, you can run this funnel. Overall, a book a call funnel is the most beginner way to actually, convert people for your coaching offer. So overall, I think a book a call funnel is one of the best funnels and the most versatile funnel. I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's anything else that's that more scalable, that's that easy to start up, that there's more information on. If you go on Google right now or YouTube and Google how to run an effective book a call funnel, or even just look at my channel, you're going to find a lot of information on how to run a book a call funnel effectively. So there's a lot of information up there. I think it's very scalable. I think anyone can start it. And overall, I just think it is the best funnel to run. And for that reason, I'm putting it in S tier. Okay. Now, I've just taken these things out of here again because I want to run through what I think is the best funnel or what I think is the best funnel to run for different types of audiences and different types of niches. So that being said, let's get straight into it. So first things first, I think book a call funnel, very simple to run, works for any type of audience, very scalable, a lot of information online to actually improve it and all these different types of things. So I think a book a call funnel is the best funnel overall to run. I'll leave that there. Okay, now, in terms of a free funnels work for certain types of people. What I mean by that is it works for people who need a lot of education to buy before you can actually get them to buy. So for example, people who generally run free funnels are people who have a large audience, but they're not very educated on what they actually do. So they need to give that free form of education away before they can try and sell them. Because generally, if you're running a free funnel, your audience isn't very educated. So the reason you give away that free thing is to actually, give them something free, educate them. And then from there, once they're educated, you can actually try and pitch them on something to buy. So overall, I think if you're that type of person who's got a large audience, who your audience is very uneducated on what you do, how you do it, and is overall uneducated on what you're trying to sell, okay, I think a free funnel works great for those types of people. Now, it's not going to work great for someone who has built a micro niche YouTube channel about one specific thing, and your YouTube and Instagram followers are complete ICP, and you've built it around one thing. It's not going to work for you. You're definitely not going to make as much money as you would with a book a call funnel or a webinar funnel. But if you're someone who's got an audience that is uneducated on what you do and how you do it, okay, and you need education before you consult them, this is a great funnel to run. Okay, now in terms of a challenge funnel, Okay, I think challenge funnels work for, as I said earlier in the video, I think challenge funnels work for certain types of people who are making a lot of money already and have high production costs, have a lot of people to help them with this actual thing, and have a lot of money to spend to actually do this correctly. So overall, I think leave this to the industry leaders and that side of things. So that's the best type of funnel. That's the person who should actually be running a challenge funnel. If you're a fitness coach with 10,000 followers, do not try a challenge funnel. It's not going to work. Now, in terms of a low to high ticket funnel, overall, I think this is a very good funnel for people who have large audiences. So for example, TJR. TJR has got, I think, 1 million followers on YouTube, a few million on Instagram. He's got a very broad audience. He posts a lot of random content, a lot of brain rot. Sometimes he's posting about trading. So overall, he doesn't have the most niche down audience, but he's got a massive audience. So the way he's going to obviously remove people who are unqualified versus qualified, or remove people who are time wasters versus people who he should actually spend time trying to convert on, he does that through a low to high ticket funnel. Okay, because he's making people spend $17 to actually be considered for the next thing. So it's removing all the time wasters. And that's exactly what this funnel is used for, is to remove time wasters. So if you've got a large audience and you're not very niche down, similar to what TJR is, he's not very niche down. A lot of people follow him, sports bettors follow him, e-com guys follow him, all these different types of people follow him, not just traders, then a low to high ticket is very, very good to sell, just because you're removing the time wasters, you're removing people who generally won't even buy from you in the beginning. So adding that barrier to entry is a great way to do that. So that being said, if you're someone like CJR and you have a large amount of followers and not super niche down audience, low to high ticket is great for you. Now, in terms of a webinar funnel, I think webinars work for anyone and everyone if you can do it correctly. Okay, you cannot be someone who's scared to present online or scared to overall present and you can't speak fluently to people. So if you can't even speak English and you're selling to an English market and you're using AI to help you on the back end with your speaking English and editing your videos to make your voice sound better and all these different types of things, do not do a webinar. Okay, webinars are for people who can speak fluently, people who can effectively sell to people. So if you don't understand how to pitch people, if you don't understand how to sell, it's not going to go very well for you. But overall, if you are someone who's trying to teach people how to jump higher, if you're trying to teach people how to knit, if you're trying to teach people how to do e-com or build a house, whatever your niche is, this can work for you because it's forcing consumption. I think it works for anyone and everyone. And overall, it's not that hard to actually crack the code on. There's a lot of information out there on how to do this effectively. So that being said, I think, if this works for anyone and everyone, but you have to be able to sell people and you actually have to put effort into this to actually make it work. It's not like you can just post a CTA on your story and make money. It's a bit more complex than that, and you actually have to put effort into it. So that being said, if you're someone and anyone who can put effort and can actually sell people, this is going to work great for you. So that's the best funnels, and that's kind of ranking them overall. You guys know my opinion. If you're trying to sell coaching and you need so that is the tier list, and that is overall my ranking system on the best funnels to run. So obviously I showed you guys that in the beginning, and then I showed you what is the best funnels to run for different types of audiences and different types of niches. Overall, if you're someone who's got a broad audience and your audience is not super niche, you can run a webinar funnel, you can run free funnels, you can run low to high ticket funnels, you can run challenge funnels. Okay, if you're someone who's got a very, very niche down audience, I recommend running a book call funnel. Okay, but also if you're someone who's got an audience that is not in either health, wealth, or relationship, and you're trying to teach a very weird niche like knitting, building a house, fishing, whatever it may be, a book call funnel is still great for that. Webinars are also great for that as well, those types of niches. So overall, webinars and book call funnels work for anyone and everyone. You just have to be able to sell people. But if you're someone who's got a less qualified audience and a large audience, that's low ticket challenge funnel and free funnels are the best thing for you. But yeah, that being said, I hope you guys got some value from this video. There's going to be a link in the description if you're looking for help with your info products, to talk with me and my agency to see if we can actually help you out. So if you want help with actually scaling your info product, there's going to be a link in the description for you guys to book in a call. And if you want to just message me on Instagram and ask me a few quick questions, there's going to be a link in the description for my Instagram as well. But yeah, hope you guys got a bit of value from this video. I'll see you guys soon.